We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
All right, here we go. Recording is in progress.
Well, that one you didn't slip by me, so I know I'm being recorded now.
I didn't slip it by you. I slipped through
No,
the grip.
that's right. That's right. You did. And
You
I
wanted
got
a
the grip was slipped many a times at the
couple of them I didn't see coming.
really.
Yeah,
It's amazing. But anyhow,
yeah.
that's why bowl water spins clockwise.
Boiling water.
Toilet bowl.
Oh, toilet bowl. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
I was wondering why you were hesitating.
You
We've
know,
been talking about it for
well,
five
but
minutes now.
that's assuming that you're on the north end of the equator.
No, that's a fallacy.
Mm-mm. No, sir.
Ask Alexa. Let's get clear this right up before we get into anything tonight, people.
Alexa, volume 10.
And here's how to ask it.
Okay.
Does toilet bowl water spin differently on each side of the equator?
Alexa, does toilet bowl water spin differently on either side of the equator?
From Answers.com. No, the water in a toilet does not spin one way in the northern hemisphere and spin the opposite direction in the southern hemisphere.
What about the Western Hemisphere?
Yeah. Luckily, she didn't say from Alexa
Wait a minute,
contributor
Wait
Woody.
a minute. Alexa, does toilet bowl water spin opposite on the western slope?
From Answers.com.
It's the same one.
The water will usually spin in a clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and in a counterclockwise direction in the southern hemisphere.
Oh,
She just contradicted herself. See, but before it was.
All right, hold on. Which way does toilet water? Hold on, Alexa. Which way does toilet water spin west of the Continental Divide?
From Answers.com. The water will usually spin in a clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and in a counterclockwise direction in the southern hemisphere.
She's on crack.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to tell you now.
So
I believe
I'm right. We're both
no. Earlier she said I was right.
Well, but I think she felt the pressure.
Well, listen, people. There's an email address on the bottom right now that's normally reserved for questions.
Oh,
but if you do have some input to this toilet, how do we talk about toilets every week or bathrooms?
I have this theory that within 30 minutes, you're either talking about going poo or it's sex.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, sex doesn't make its way onto this campaign from two guys in excess of 55 years of age. So,
what are you saying? That you're not a pineapple kind of guy?
Upside down pineapple.
Oh, that's right.
I still got to look into that because now I'm confused on that one as well. But,
okay, we got an email about 6 months ago.
Oh,
and I forgot to read it.
I'm hoping we still have a listener.
Well, it's from Psychos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd he know about the email address?
Well, he watched the show after we saw him. It wasn't 6 months ago. It was.
Okay.
All right, let me read it to you. Jim, if you're listening today, we appreciate you. It says Dave and Woody too. Thanks for the
I get second billing.
Yeah, well, thanks for the shout out on your podcast. Great to see you guys as well. Wish I could have been there for all the events that weekend. It felt like such a mad rush on Saturday. Woody, my flights were worse. It took me 8.5 hours to get to and from North Carolina. I should have just driven. Cheers to you both. In Hoke, Jim.
Sam, I'm glad I took the cheap airline then.
Yeah, that was March 1st. So we return our emails. We give us about 21 days.
If you could, please. The process. So it takes a while for Dave to read them.
I like to make it like it's still first class mail, so that way we're not cheating those guys. So I wrote him back. Do you want to hear my reply?
Sure.
Brother Psychos, the one time I don't check the mail, we get one we could have used on the show. My bad. Man, it was cool. So cool seeing you and the guys last week. I know I gushed a little bit on the episode, but I really meant it. I will be sure to share with Woody your email, and next week we can give yet another hey to Brother Psychos. Glad you made it home safe, and thanks for tuning in to our little show. We are having such fun. Theus.
I think how you should answer those is we'll mention you on the next show, and then we don't. And
Well, we
every
kinda
time we
did.
get those emails, we'll just keep telling people we're going to mention them on the next show.
So they'll
And
tune in and they'll like,
yeah, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, maybe it's next week. Maybe I screwed up the weeks."
or maybe they'll play it again thinking they missed it. We'll get
Right.
plays out of them. All right. Anyway, so that was that.
Well, there's exciting news. I'm impressed that the email account is does work. It's what we've established there. So while we're talking business over there in that corner,
Yeah.
subscribe. I'd like to tell people something too about YouTube. You know, so what we do in the show, it primarily plays to the car audio format, right? It's not
okay.
something you sit and watch, but I do add visuals and other objects to the screen when we're discussing them. Like I posted Dave's picture with his pig last week on there, so you could see what we're talking about. So the things that we mention are visual. I do add to the video stream, but I'd also like to mention you can listen to YouTube as audio in your car. You don't have to watch it and drive. So
we don't recommend watching video while you're driving.
Right, but
we'll like to get that out there.
It is something you can do. It will play over your Bluetooth just the same. So keep that in mind, but most of all, subscribe.
Or you can listen to us on Spotify too.
Yeah. You know what? I was told this weekend by some other listeners that they got us on the Apple podcasts.
I don't know. They may have stole it from us.
Yeah. So
I don't trust those guys.
Yeah, maybe we need to sue Apple.
Well, wouldn't that be great?
For 11 cents.
A little bit. Something would be great. All right, let's get moving.
All right. What do you got?
Sorry, so for the listeners that are tuning in now, it's we're a little bit late, and it's my fault. And it is Thursday night, not Wednesday night, because I can't throw stones. Woody was having a little bit of a tough week, and a couple weeks ago I was wiped out. So I got a couple things. I got a FBLA update if we want to share about that, and I can talk a little bit about where I was tonight, which is kind of exciting and fun stuff.
Can I share the picture from tonight?
Yeah, I want to make sure you get the right one.
Well, the last one you just sent.
Yeah, did I just send you
where
one?
the gun is at your temple?
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I don't think she would be upset we shared that.
Okay.
So what we're talking about is this evening, I had the proud honor of being asked to give the invocation at my sheriff, Michelle Cook of Clay County, is running for office again. And the neat story is she and I met on the campaign trail. I was running for Congress at the time in 2020, and she was running for sheriff. And so the joke was, we spent many a day on the street corner holding signs for each other or, with each other.
Right.
And so we became fast friends over the campaign season. It was kind of a fun way of meeting someone and getting to know them. So
back up a second. Invocation.
Prayer.
For her campaign?
And when you do an invocation for something like this, what I did is I had a three-stage prayer. I said, I thank the Lord for the ability for us to meet freely and without persecution and without strife. And then Scripture tells us that we should pray for our people in government, believe it or not, and those who have authority over us. And so I prayed for protection and guidance for she and her agency, all of her deputies and staff, people.
So she is the current sheriff.
She is current sheriff. She is the incumbent.
Okay. See, when you said invocation, I thought she was getting put into office.
No.
And then
lastly, let me put this in. Lastly, I prayed for blessings and prosperity for the people who hosted us. And this was the Passel. I'll screw that up. They own a boat dealership, a Yamaha boat dealership at Orange Park.
That's too bad I got a Honda engine on my boat.
Yeah. But anyway, very nice couple. The beautiful showroom, beautiful boats that I can't afford.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said that if we donate to the camp, well, I shouldn't say that. We get a free boat, but that didn't happen. It was a beautiful night. I was very honored once again to be in that role. So I got dressed up with a shirt and tie and got to hang out with some of the uppity ups and yuckity yucks of Clay County. Yeah, it was good fun.
Well, that sounds like a fun. Did you get some free food out of it, or just
I didn't eat. I don't eat when I do those things because ultimately I have to speak in the beginning of the. I didn't want to have a bunch of like lettuce leaves hanging out of my face.
or belch in
And
the middle
I'm
of it?
not nervous, but I get a little bit. I don't need something else to occupy my
Yeah.
time with some food. And
Okay.
then I tend to meet and greet, so I'm pressing the flesh the whole time. So I'll stick a piece of gum in my mouth, kind of get my breath freshened up a little bit in case I got to hug somebody, or I just don't want to have a bunch of food in my hands or in my mouth. So
Very good.
I forego that.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. And she kept it really tight on time. Her staff members that work with her, one of her Rhonda is a co-worker of hers, and she kept a tight ship. It was very good, entertaining,
Our
and
a friend of ours is an undersheriff, and I wasn't familiar with that term, so I asked him if that meant he gets teabagged from the sheriff.
that's not funny. That's a whole different agency. That's probably something that we should not have gone to, Woody. But
It's a joke,
the good
of
news is
course. I
you're not in her jurisdiction.
Yeah, exactly. I won't be getting
But
pulled
she's got
over.
friends. I'm sure she could pick up the phone.
I'm
And
not in
call
a sheriff area.
Concord, North Carolina. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I am not in a sheriff area, so I am incorporated.
you're in a popo.
Yep,
All right. Well, we find a police
and
chief.
we
I'll
have a
talk to you.
fine force here as well, might I admit. So,
All right.
years ago, my car got stolen.
Yeah, you told us that.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, the guy came over at 6 a.m. or something, whenever I discovered it. I did the report and everything. And I don't know, it had to be a year later or so. I was out near my driveway, just kind of raking leaves, doing some yard work, and a police car pulls up, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? And he rolls down the window. It's the same guy. He goes, man, did you ever get your car back? And this is like a year later.
Talk
So
about
I was
customer service.
Yes, I was very impressed. So we had a long conversation about how the car was found, and he kind of told me, yeah, we don't know really where to look. Yeah, but typically that's what happens. Is it
Well,
goes for a joyride. They back it into a parking spot at a apartment complex. No one knows whose car it is, but no one thinks it's really
yeah,
not supposed to be there. So it just and when the police drive through, the tag, because in North Carolina you don't have a rear tag,
right.
no one can run the tags. So that's why it sat there for 6 months before anybody found it.
So they thought it was a joyride in part. No one was
Yep.
using it for a commuter.
No, nothing like that, because those get caught too easy, they said. They're just, and that's exactly what it was. Kids found the key to my car because it was basically out there.
On the
But,
dash.
but I'm here, horrible things are happening like in Canada and out on the West Coast with car thieves these days. It's getting really bad in those
Horrible.
areas.
They're torching them or something. All right. Anyway,
No, they're stealing them and shipping them off to other countries.
but they
So,
need cars too.
yeah,
Okay. There's a big right there. Said I wasn't going to do that. That's
good.
one.
That's one.
The other thing I did, just to report quickly, is I am the FBLA advisor for my school, for our chapter at school. And we had our state competition down in Orlando this past weekend. So myself and co-advisor took 10 kids. We rode a big coach, big bus with a bunch of other kids from other high schools and middle schools. And I wanted to touch base with you about this because you said you had a friend that was a fellow teacher up in North Carolina. We'll be seeing him in Orlando, hopefully in
At
June.
nationals, right?
Yeah, so we get to go back to Orlando. But the one kid who took our chapter to state last year won first place in state. He competed again. He's the only one that competed. Well, excuse me. He's the only one that qualified for national. 6 of our kids competed, and they did not. I'm gonna say they failed, but
No.
They did not qualify for national. So he got second place.
Wow.
So the competition was stiff. He's got a great speech and a great presentation.
Which category does he?
He has to do the elevator speech. Now, elevator
Okay.
speech typically was about a minute long, but they lengthened it to 3 minutes.
A big building.
Well, it's in a breakout room, but
No, big elevator speech, big
oh
building,
yeah.
taller. Jeez.
So
Slow.
low. So he did the elevator speech, and he what was I gonna say? And you messed me up with that big interjection. Oh, the theme, the category, if you will, or the concept was that you were presenting to your school board and why the importance for trying to convince the school board why they should continue to fund FBLA. They really don't do anything, but I mean, that was the concept of what does FBLA mean to you? Why has it been important to you? And why should you, as a school board, continue to fund clubs such as FBLA? And he did a great job. I think he should have won it, but
You lost your funding for next year, but yeah, I mean, it's good.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to Orlando, and another fellow from another high school, he took second place in his test.
Okay.
So,
like, what kind of tests do you take?
He took a test on political policy. Excuse me, political. Too much soda. Do you remember who said that?
You keep saying it, and you never
Dave
tell
Letterman.
me.
That was Letterman used to he would be out on his monologue, and he'd start choking, and he'd go, "Too much soda." The kid took a policy. I don't know what they call it. It's policy and politics, political science and policy test. So it's 50 questions. He's got to fill in the bubbles.
All right. And
he got second place. That's competitive as Hades.
It must be really, really hard test.
Well, the problem is there are kids that get every question correct.
Okay, that's where I was leading. I'm like, how can you get second?
So what happens is
you got one wrong.
They hand you the test, they timestamp it, right. And then kids are running back to the table to turn in their test, because if they get every one of them right, there's no way to have a tiebreaker except for who finished the test first.
All right.
And they could only take 4 to the national event, and so you could have perfect results and be 5th in line and not go.
All right. Well, that's at least I was curious because I'm like 50 question tests. I'm sure all the kids get them right.
So I'm going to send you a picture that you can upload into the show tonight, well, whenever. And it's the picture of the kids taking the test, how big the room is.
All right. Do I have to blur all their faces because they're underage?
I don't think so. Because
if it's going to take that much work,
well, I'll let you see it. But I kind of took it with the idea that with my hand over the lens. I don't think it's a trouble. I think our kids sign stuff that says your image is going to be, used for
the podcast.
For Dave and Woody.
I know you signed this other one that it says a statement. Use your photograph, but I need you to sign this one too, kids.
The guy I was walking around proctoring the test. He goes, "What are you doing, Mr. This?"
Don't worry about it.
These people up front are probably going to have their image in one of our pictures. So
I need to clear myself of any wrongdoing.
Well, now that we've said all that, I don't know if we can use the picture or not, but
I'll make sure it's. I'll make it small enough that you can't see the people's faces.
Whatever.
I'd like to see the test. Is what I'd like to see.
Well, I think that's probably inappropriate.
Why?
Because that defies all the rules and regulations that we have. Why would you get to see the test?
I'm just curious if I could answer it.
No. Okay. Well, sign up for high school.
Yeah, don't get
ask your buddy. Your buddy's probably corrupt over there like that. He could probably get you a test.
Exactly.
Oh, is he listening to the show?
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yes.
Oh. Well, hey, how you doing?
Hey, I don't think he'd take umbrage with that.
Friend, when you get to Orlando, I'll buy you a beer. Oh, we can't do that either.
Yeah.
Sorry, so no beer.
Don't nictate, though. So
don't what?
Nictate.
What's that mean?
Oh, I almost got you by.
Darn, you almost slipped it by. Nictate.
Yeah, apparently that's another word for blink. So you were saying, we're not going to drink. Nictate.
That's a good one, though. Hold on. We got to verify because we don't have trust issues. Alexa, what is the definition of nictate?
Nictate is a verb usually defined as to wink or blink, of certain animals, to close the nictating membrane.
You know what? I have this thing. When I was in the furniture business, I don't know if this came about because I'm a man, because I'm a dude. But whenever I was in a sales opportunity, I dealt with a lot of, I was a sales manager over the entire state for my lines of furniture. I was the guy that went into the dealerships and set up all the goals and met with other people and followed up with them. and there would be a salesman who was like, he thought he was the best salesman ever, and he would always wink at you. You know that guy when you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" He winks at you and gives you that kind of wink, like, "Oh, it's all kind of showmanship." And
you have the chills. You get the
no,
chills.
I would say, don't ever do that again. And it would always take him off. What do you mean? I said, "Look, weirdo, I don't need you winking at me. That's not cool." And that's
Did
not.
you add in the weirdo too?
Yeah, no, I would, depending on who it was and how often he did it, I was like, that,
Oh,
just cut it out. I don't need you winking at me because it's not working at all. It used to annoy the heck out of me. And as soon as I saw a guy did that, I was like, okay, this guy's a loser. I'm moving on.
my wife has a rule. She never dated winkers.
Yeah.
she's
Like,
like,
this is the worst move ever. It tells me right off the bat that you're a liar, basically. I don't want to know anything about it. So Nick T,
yeah,
we got that going for us.
yeah.
There'll be no
maybe we
dictating.
can remember these words. The only one I remember so far is overmorrow.
Overmorrow, because overmorrow is Saturday.
Right. I am still trying to find a way to use it. The boys at work are a little tired of me trying to squeeze that one into conversations as well.
Yeah, we know, Woody.
Yeah, exactly. So
you can really only use it on Wednesday.
Well, I need to do a little housekeeping here.
Okay.
Well, I mentioned last week that I had a drug test.
Well, I did want to follow up on that. I got some follow-up thing. I got to make a note here because I messed up with Mike. Go ahead. Drug test.
Who's Mike?
Well, the story I told.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm happy to say I passed a drug test.
You didn't even study.
No, I did that all. Yeah, I just went in right out of the street, took my drug test, and got an A+.
They missed the heroin?
Yes, apparently. So I shouldn't say it. So big news is I'm changing companies in a week.
Well, I was wondering about that. Is this?
Yeah, that's why I said I'll talk about it next week after it's more official.
Well, is this going to jeopardize your employment if they find out you're doing this?
I don't know. They ran a background
that's why we never
check.
say anyone's real name, because we're afraid that if they're associated with us, they'll lose their job.
Exactly. You might not be employed any further. So maybe I'm being premature. I should wait till my first day of work at the
I would wait
company,
till the check clears.
Okay, let's do that then. But just wanted to give everyone a heads up that that's why I was taking a drug test, not because I needed to.
Are you at? I'm going to say this in front of everybody. So now that are you at liberty to say that you were in the search mode and over time anticipating something, or you?
Yeah, I had been keeping, based on my current company's financial status.
Yeah,
I had been keeping my eyes and ears open. I hadn't been aggressively doing it like when I took the buyout from Verizon. I absolutely needed a job then. But now I happened across something that was working for someone I know, and it just worked out really well. So I kind of signed a dotted line late last week or Monday of this week. And I'm a little worried though. The only thing that worries me is that my start date is April 1st. I'm like, down, this is some elaborate, April Fool's joke, because it'll have significant consequences on me and my family.
I started in the financial services on April 1st, and my principal said, "We're not doing that." He says, "I'm never starting anybody on April 1st. So your hire date,
April 2nd from now on.
April 2nd, yeah.
Yeah. So
delivering pizza. Is that a
yes, it's an upgrade. I was doing DoorDash, but now I'll be working for a corporation.
For the manufacturer.
Yes, direct to the customer. It's a new model.
More distribution for you. You're going right to the factory.
That's
all right,
exactly
congratulations are in order.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of I didn't want to leave where I was. Very good
bathrooms.
Yes. Now, actually, I wasn't a big fan of the bathroom because we were a small office. We had the one stall in the men's room. Remember, we talked about that.
Yeah. The people upstairs were not happy with you.
No, we were sneaking to use theirs. But no, it was a great environment. Good team of people along those lines. But the future wasn't that I
Yeah.
guess.
And
Yeah.
have you given notice, or is
Yes,
this
yes. That's
find
why
out
I
by
was
listening to the
waiting.
podcast? Okay.
Yeah, I gave it on Monday.
All right.
So
Well, that'll be enough pushy, and then you can inform us that
yeah,
you're
after
good.
I
But
get started in a
congratulations.
week or two,
Yeah.
I'll give an update on if I still have that job.
Exciting.
Yeah. Once they discover my personality, they might say, because I was on my best behavior.
Don't let them nitpick you. What is it? Picnic? No. Nicky Pack? Tacky Wicky? What's the word?
And which word?
The winky one.
Quiz quos?
No, not that one. The one we just did. Tic Tac or Knick Knack or
I
the
don't
wink
have it
word.
anymore. Oh, Nictate.
Nictate. It almost
Yeah.
sounds like dictate. All right.
Maybe that's how you remember it.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I'm happy.
Appreciate
I kind of had a sense that this was on your heart and you were, I don't want to say concerned, but you were, working through it.
Yeah. So, like I said, am I jinxing myself saying it early?
No, and at your age, ageism is an issue, so I mean
Yeah.
the opportunities are fewer and farther between.
Well, I put on there that I was only 18 years old. Is that going to be a problem? When I show up,
You gotta look it. I mean, you could probably get away with 35.
I show up, they're like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, it's an internship.
Yeah, paid, right?
Right. Yeah. $7.50 an hour.
All right. Well, good job. All right. Well, great show, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. A 22-minute show this week.
That's not bad.
We're usually wrapping up right around now.
Well, I'm full of energy. I don't know. Oh, so are you finished? You got something else?
No, that's it.
So I want to do some housekeeping too. So last week I told a story about my friend Mike, the commish, and I got excited because he had revealed his love of Michael Keaton and the Night Shift movie. He made a quote about it, and I hogged the quote. So he didn't. I saw him tonight. He was a fellow speaker. He gave the big speech about the sheriff tonight. Did a great job. I just did the invocation. So I spoke to God. He was speaking to people, but I spoke to God. And when I spoke, the room was quiet.
Ooh.
When he spoke, people were
Did people genuflect?
It's funny because each person who spoke after me, the very far back of the room, and I'm not throwing stones, but it's a big, voluminous warehouse, really cool building though with the boats in it. But it has to be big enough to bring these giant boats in. And so it's kind of a warehouse showroom kind of thing. I don't want to do my hand over here, but anyway, so people were out there in the back toward the beer, and they were chatty, during the speeches. But when I spoke, I said, "Let's go before the Lord in prayer." And boy, you could hear a pin drop. Wasn't nobody talking. So
maybe I should start my meetings that way.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Just throw that up
Bow
there.
your heads, please.
Yeah, everybody like, what's he talking about?
My name's Woody, and let's go to the Lord in prayer. This is crazy. It's a weird way to start a meeting. All right, I don't want to get too sideways because I don't want to take away from the honor that I had to do that tonight. And any chance I get to do the invocation, I'll take it. But Mike, the point of the story was Mike, and the story, he's the one that said, "Feed the fish mayonnaise." And I caught on to it. So you asked, what was the line? What does that mean? So Keaton's character was this idea guy, and he had all these ideas. And so what he was saying was tuna fish salad.
Oh,
Got this great idea. Let's feed the fish mayonnaise. And so when we catch them, tuna fish salad, we'll be ahead of the game, right? Instead of having to clean them and do it. So just feed the fish mayonnaise. So I totally butchered that because I got so excited about the story. I stole the bit, like I do all the time, and I didn't give Mike credit for it. So if Mike's
that's an excellent little joke.
Yeah. Oh no. If you have not seen the movie, you got to get it. You got to.
I put the movie poster on the YouTube feed.
No, I did see it. I did see it. So, and you did a fine job at that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find it out there on our favorite streaming platforms if you'd like to watch it.
I almost said something, but I'm not going to say.
Oh, I'm like, what is going on?
Your favorite streaming platform?
Well, not that streaming platform, Dave. Not Dave's favorite streaming platform.
What you're talking about. All I know is the government's watching that, so be careful.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, they're recording. Everybody goes into that. They did call my house. You got the wrong guy. Anyway, I do have a funny AT&T story. It's not really funny, but we're getting our road construction at the very front of our neighborhood.
Widened?
They're widening this main
Right.
road. They're going from, I don't know, they're widening the road. We got development going on all over the place, so they're building new roads. Well, they keep cutting the damn the cable.
Yeah.
So AT&T, I'm pulling in. Where was I last night? No, I was at my meeting. Oh, I was at my meeting last night.
Yeah. The one that where it caused us to have to go to Thursday night.
Yeah, every once a month, and so I'm coming in, and there's like 6 AT&T trucks. I'm like, oh, okay, I know what this means. And I look at my phone, and my wife sent me a text: no cable, no internet. So that was about 10 o'clock last night. I got back to the
They have
house.
a little trailer on the back.
Yeah, they had that whole,
A little white trailer. Yeah.
yeah, they could set up camp. I think they're in there sleeping or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah, overnight
No.
work.
It's where you pull the cable in so you can splice the fibers.
Is that really what's going on?
Yep.
Because
It's a pseudo clean room. It's really not. It's just well lit and everything like that because you're working with.
but we're on the fiber.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Almost everybody is these days. So fiber at the very least down your street.
I saw them this morning. The guys had the box on the end of a stick, and I think that's the thing they wave over the.
It's how they find the stuff on the ground. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, maybe you could have used that last night.
Before you dig. That's the
Before you
whole
dig.
idea. All right. And call before you dig, Dave. What is it? 811?
811.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. Like,
Just for the hell of it.
yeah, I'm thinking about digging. You digging it? I'm digging it.
You know what's funny is most municipalities want all that stuff buried now because they don't want the overhead lines, right? On telephone poles and stuff.
Yeah.
Now everybody's complaining because anytime you're digging or doing anything, you call for a locate and they come out and spray all those lines on the ground. So now everybody's mad. Why are my sidewalks always got paint on them and stuff? So it's because you don't have the lines up on the pole. Make up your mind. What do you want?
I did almost have a Mr. Mom moment yesterday at school. Remember the movie Mr. Mom? Speaking of
Michael Keaton. Yeah. Wow.
So I guess I can tell this.
We weren't talking about Michael Keaton, were we?
Well, we kind of got off of that. But
all right.
So I have Wednesday afternoon, I have duty where I have to go out to
said duty.
I have to go out to the crosswalk and help the kids get across the driveway. And so we have I don't know how I can explain this, but we have a driveway where you have to come in and take a right turn and loop all the way out of your way and loop back so you can come into parent pickup. And it's hard to do this, but anyway, and one of the lanes is blocked off because that's what do you call it? Egress? And yeah, it's the egress of the parking lot where people are leaving that are parked in front of our administration building. And so this lady pulls in, instead of doing the thing where she goes right, goes all the way around the loop and comes into the parent pickup, she decides that she's going to go watch her granddaughter at the course. And she's going to go park all the way around the course or in front of the cafeteria, halfway around the school. So she says, I don't have to wait in this line. I'm going to go park. I'm going to turn left and go head on into traffic. She, the world's about her. It's not about anyone.
Of course. Yes. What
she should have done is turn right, found a parking spot in the parking lot, and then got out of her car and walked herself around the front of the building to the course. But, I'm a pretty important person, so I'm going to go this way. Well, I get out there, and one of my fellow instructors is just like,
when you yell like that, it doesn't come through your microphone.
No. Well, anyway, she's yelling at me to go get this person and get him straightened out. So now I'm like, really running my Wednesday duty. I mean, I was just trying to get out there.
That's like 200 feet farther down the sidewalk.
Yeah. So everyone's like half a car length apart. So I'm like, okay, we can fix this. I'll just tell everybody to move up. So I go up to the lady who's farthest up and I tap on her window. I'm like, can you move up just a smidge? And I did this thing to her. So she moves up like an inch, and you can see I can see the trunk of the car. You know what I'm saying? There's enough, there's like half a car length. I'm like, okay, maybe a little bit bigger, can you move up? And she's like all put out about it. And so then she moves up. Then I go to the next guy. I said, hey, same idea. Let's move up. And then I go to the next guy and he's hanging out the window and goes, this woman does this all the time. You're never going to fix it. She's a real pain in the butt. And then he caught me.
Right.
And I was like, say what? What'd you say? And so then I was in this moment where I had a decision to make. I'm going to get into this confrontation with this guy, or I'm not, and I'm going to head to
Right.
my duty. And I literally had to freeze and stop because I was ready to. It was that flashpoint, that I've
Right.
talked
I
about
know.
before.
Yeah. You can't catch yourself sometimes.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, Dave's on the offensive line again. We're going to rip somebody's head off, but I can't, I can't do that. And so I caught myself and said, no, you're going to duty, Dave. You got to get over there and do your duty. So I said, well, sir, common courtesy for everybody. It'll all work out. I'm sure it will. It's not that big a deal. And then I went over to the lady and said, you really should have parked over there. I know that you got to walk all the way across the front of the building to get to your course, but you see, you're kind of messing things up here. A little common courtesy. Why do this all the time? I'm not parking over there. I can park over there. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to my duty.
Okay.
Taking a deep breath. I'm going to my duty. I just refused.
Well, how'd she get through then if that one guy wasn't
she
going to
cut
move?
the cones. She went right around the cones.
But you had to move cars for her to get through, right?
No, she ended up getting herself in line. She ended up cutting in front of someone. Then she was stuck because she had to wait through. She was trying to do is bypass that.
Yes.
But I caught her, and then the other lady trying to get out, made her stop too.
I'm surprised the person she cut in front of didn't do the usual move, which is put your hand on the horn and just keep it blaring.
No, she was mad. She was mad too. She was losing it. She's a fellow instructor, and I got to see a side of her. I was like, wow.
I love the ones that lay on the horn. I'm like, what is this doing? I said, you're making yourself look, calling yourself out, and you're calling the other person out, and you're annoying everybody within the sound of your horn.
I like the horn though, Woody.
Do you? The horn was only put in cars to avoid danger.
No, I think it's an extension of
no, it's not. It's not. It was never intended for. And I really wish they'd take the horn out of cars. To be honest with you.
Oh, that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, because how many times have you used it to avoid danger?
Rarely. I use it only to make a point.
Exactly.
I honked at a guy today. Pulled right across 2 lanes of traffic, a big no U-turn sign right there, and he decides that doesn't affect me. That's not for me. That's for the little people.
So what did the horn honk do then?
No, it's clearly to my benefit. It doesn't help anything. He couldn't move into traffic any faster, but I wanted to put the pressure up a little bit.
You think he's at home tonight going, honey, I was making a U-turn. This guy pointed it out to me. I must stop doing that now. Someone caught me making a U-turn.
No, I don't think he's doing that at all. I think the fact that I got to come home with a slightly smile on my face, I got a little something out of it.
Yes,
it's only for me. I fully understand what you're saying. Did I affect change? No, but I feel better for it.
Unfortunately, yeah, that person's going to continue to do whatever they're doing. And
what if that
person was pregnant on the way to the hospital?
They
had to get there in a hurry.
That's what my wife always says. We said that
I know. That's why I brought it up. We talked about that one.
Well, she's going to have to plan a little bit better with her pregnancy. Don't wait to the last minute to start.
Yeah, make sure you turn left at the hospital. Don't go past the hospital.
Well, the nice thing would be go right to the flow of traffic, then go up to an intersection, turn back. Even if
you ever grow up in an area with jug handles? It's not a joke.
Jug handles?
Yeah.
Is this misogynistic term?
New Jersey is famous for having jug handles in the road. They don't have left-hand turn lanes. What they have is on the right-hand side, it'll be a little like exit ramp that goes out and makes a quick 90-degree turn to a light, and then a light turns and you can cross the road. That way they don't have left-hand turn lanes. I'll put a diagram on the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about. Road construction and road ideas from other regions of the country sometimes baffle me because we get like not a roundabout, but we'll get something. Remember when we were kids, instead of crosswalks across the intersection, someone came up with this idea that we would go angle across the
like
middle
a jaywalk.
Well, instead of at a 4-way intersection, they would cross here, cross there, cross there. it was one giant 45-degree angle across, right across the middle. You were crossing underneath the lights, looking up, and you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm in the middle of the
But
intersection."
traffic has to be stopped in all four directions.
Well, yeah, but they had that for a while, and I was like, "This is the craziest thing ever. Someone's going to get,
Yeah.
skinned."
They're
But then
still, I still see those from time to time.
I know, but they're like passe. They come
Yeah.
in. Look, I've lost my shoulder. Oh, there it is. Nope, I'm
Oh,
back.
it's the green screen effect.
Shh, don't ruin it for everybody else that thinks it's real.
Oh,
I'm actually in my third bathroom. We're doing this from the bathroom.
you just keep the background moving behind. I can't tell if you change rooms.
I'm
So,
sitting on the toilet.
oh, very nice.
Okay. 8:36. Seems like it's gonna be a stretchy one.
Yeah, we're gonna
What'd
really
you have for
to.
dinner tonight?
I was on my own again tonight, so
Did
I
you
had
see a trend
leftovers.
here?
I had leftover. I haven't seen my wife in weeks. I don't know if she's ever coming home.
Oh, the locks changed yet?
No, I was able to get in, but
The windowsill again?
the hell, yeah, the house is kind of stale. But no, I had leftover Mexican meat, I guess you call it. You can make a taco, but I made a burrito. Shut up.
And Mexican meat.
You're so childish. They were
Is it?
Mexican
No, I'm
cows.
just saying, is that some sort of Epicurean
They were Mexican
title
cows.
for it? Yeah,
Well,
today
I meant that it was like taco
we'll be
meat, but
feasting on Mexican meat
yeah.
inside some guacamole.
So, oh, you know what? You said you had a bunch of material. Here's my we're in the conference room pitching ideas to the C-suite. And I wonder how this conversation goes. But are you familiar? You got grandkids now, right?
5.
5. Okay. And I assume some are in the age range of 4 to 10 years old.
I think so. Sure.
Sure. All right. Well, there's a new show out there now about a dog. It's become quite famous. It's called Bluey. Have you not heard of this show?
No, I heard the big red dog.
Oh, that was a long time. Clifford Red Big. That was during my
Yeah.
kids' time.
Yeah.
No, there's a new show out there. It's a blue dog, and in their
Look like
infinite.
Clifford?
What?
Does it look like Clifford?
No, no. It looks
Okay.
like what was the other blue dog?
I do remember a blue dog, but I'm not
Man,
well
what the
enough
heck
to
was
say
the name
it.
of that show?
Hold on. Alexa, is there a children's program that incorporates a blue dog?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, Bluey, the popular Australian children's animated series, features a variety of dog breeds throughout its episodes. The main characters, Bluey and Bingo, are both depicted as blue heelers, which is a common dog breed in Australia. Blue heelers are also known as Australian cattle dogs.
You got anything else you want to talk about, Alexa?
It was here.
I guess you're gonna have to put a picture of Bluey up there.
Well, there was a show with Blue the dog. I can't remember that thing.
I think I stole your thunder. Sorry.
Huckleberry
Australia.
Hound. Remember him?
Huckleberry Hound, sure.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
watching Australian TV now?
no, but it's a big anyhow. Whose idea? Who's great? Maybe because it was Australian, but whose bright idea was to use the name Bluey?
Well, what she just
Come on
said.
now.
Huh?
Come on. Didn't anybody stand up with the show and in the meeting go, Bluey can have a different connotation in certain
That's
parts of the
blowy.
world.
You're talking past tense, Bluey?
Bluey, yeah. Come on now.
Well, I think it's Australian. It's like what was the movie Down Under? No. What was the guy that had the knife?
I know it's
Crocodile Dundee.
There you go.
So the Australians say things differently. They Bluey might be and clearly it is. I don't know. We're drifting into Neverland now, but I am on my 3rd day without Zyrtec.
Oh, for pollen?
Yeah, I ran out of Zyrtec, and I keep saying to my wife, "I'll stop by Walmart, whatever we get the off brand from." And I'm on now day 3 with no Zyrtec. You know what happens to you?
No.
I'm trying to incorporate things into our program that other listeners will have experienced. You know, like when you talk about locations and places that we've traveled or whatever, I'm trying to bring in dialogue that hopefully other listeners will go, "Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about." So Zyrtec is an antihistamine, right?
Yeah.
And you can get kind of hooked on antihistamine. And so when you don't have it, it makes you itch. The withdrawal period
Oh,
is
like the heebie-jeebies?
no, you're so the first time I experienced this, my
That's a rash, Dave, and I
no,
think
no,
you got
no,
that somewhere
but
else.
that's what I thought it was. But the palms of my hands were itching. Now it's itching right now, so I know what's going on. But the palms of my hand, my fingers, and my hands were itching. Now I didn't control myself, and I have old man skin, so I didn't realize at the time. But I was scratching my left hand, to make a hole almost with the skin. Now I know not to do that, but I started to think, oh my God, what's
What
going
do
on?
they
Have I
call
got,
that? They call it a stigmata, right?
I don't know, but I started to ask myself, what are these side effects? What is this? So I did
Right.
a Google thing of side effects, what causes itching, and it's antihistamine.
Don't
So
you know
then
what stigmata is?
no, what is that?
Isn't that the hole in Jesus's hand from the
Might
spikes?
be. You're the
Yeah, that's
Catholic.
what I said, stigmata. It's a sign of Jesus.
Okay. I'm not going to go
Come
down the blast.
on.
I'm not going to go down the blasphemy.
How's
Blasphemy.
that blasphemous?
I don't know.
Anyhow,
Anyway,
it was Blue's Clues is the other one.
Blue's
So
Clues.
so
Oh, that was
these
my
guys
favorite.
come up with a blue dog. They're like, well, Blue's Clues is taken, and Huckleberry Hound saying, let's go with Bluey. And not one person stands up and says,
How did Snoopy make it?
he wasn't blue.
Well, this dog is blue. It's a blue
Right.
dog.
Why can't you? These are inventive people. They can't come up with something better than Bluey.
I think they're blue. The dog is blue. It's like
I
there's a
give up,
pit
Dave.
bull breed here that's a blue dog.
A
It's
blue
like
healer.
yeah.
You're missing my point. That's
No,
okay.
I know what you're saying. I
No, I
just
don't think
think
you do.
you might be right. I just think that they're simpletons and they went with, the obvious. That's right. I said it. Australians are simpletons. Take
Oh
that.
well. And you know what? They can name this. They can listen to this show as well, Dave, if you want. So maybe now you've cut out a whole continent of potential listeners.
They were once a penal colony. I get
Yeah.
to say penal.
Yes, you did. Did you
Which
have you ever been there?
a penal colony
Yeah,
or
or well,
Australia?
either or. That'd be an interesting story.
I have never been down down under.
Hmm.
I've
At
never
the
been to
penal
Australia.
colony.
I've never been to Australia,
That's
nor New
it.
Zealand. That was on our list when we thought we would go to London or UK. We thought, well, let's go to Australia. But it turns out it's further away.
All you had to do is go get ousted from England, and they would have exiled you to Australia,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I
All
don't
right.
think it was under the crown at the time.
My daughter, who's more traveled than I am, has been to both Australia and New Zealand. So
That's where the Jurassic Park thing was in New Zealand, wasn't it?
there and on Kauai,
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah.
Hawaii.
I think Hawaii was Jurassic Park. The Hobbit or whatever one of those other nerd shows.
This a Alexa question.
Sure.
Alexa, where was Jurassic Park filmed?
Jurassic Park was filmed in Manawaiapuna Falls, Hawaii, Tehachapi Pass, California, and Kualoa Ranch, Hawaii.
Mauna
Mm-hmm. Been there.
Have you been to Mauna
Yes, I have.
Have you been to Hawaii, really?
Yeah, I actually have a family who lives on the island of Kauai
Why?
because that's where they want to live. Lives real close to Zuckerberg. You're not believing me, are you?
No, I believe you. I
Yeah,
just
I've been
don't.
there three or four times now.
I just
I was supposed to go again this year, but because I'm going east, I just don't have time to go.
I don't understand it. I've never been there, so
No, it's beautiful.
I have a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who's Hawaiian, and he tells of great stories of his
Yeah.
youth. And I can imagine it's paradise. But
Certain places are, yeah. I mean, if you go to Oahu, which is the not the big island, it's the main island, where like Diamond Head
yeah,
and
it's a
the
city.
North Shore, it's just another city with a
Yeah.
beautiful beach. And a lot of people go, like I went to Hawaii for a convention. It wasn't anything great. Well, because you went to Oahu, which is just a big city. You
Right.
got to go to the big island where the volcanoes are, or absolutely, my favorite island by far is Kauai. I've been there, like I said, I can't remember 3 or 4 times now, and I've done different stuff each and every time I've been there.
You ever
So,
see Jim Neighbors there?
uh,
Or have you ever had his nuts?
Jim Neighbors has nuts on Hawaii?
He has a macadamia farm.
Does he really? I
Yeah.
don't think he's alive anymore.
Let's find out.
He's not.
Alexa, is Jim Neighbors still alive?
Thanks, Alexa.
Checking out. Alexa, stop. Oh, God.
Anyhow,
all
I
right,
know
hold
he's
on.
not alive.
Alexa, is Jim Neighbors still alive?
Jim Neighbors died on November 30th, 2017 in Honolulu, Hawaii, USA at the age of 87 years.
Wow.
Yeah. The reason I know that is my all-time favorite sporting event is Indy 500, and I never miss it. And because he's from Indiana, he used to sing that Indiana State song. I don't know, what is it?
Take me to the ballpark.
Yeah, something Indiana. Anyhow, he would sing it every year at the 500. And when he passed, of course, now they have someone new singing it.
Alexa, please play the Indiana State song by Jim Neighbors.
Back home in Indiana.
This is Jim Neighbors from Spotify.
He's an outstanding tenor singer.
Our Father.
All right, that wasn't worth it. That's not the song.
Alexa, stop.
I don't know what that song was, but Back Home in Indiana is the song.
Oh, come on. Well, the show's going nowhere. So, Alexa, please play Back Home in Indiana by Jim Neighbors.
This is Jim Neighbors from Spotify.
Now, here we go again. She probably doesn't have the rights to that song,
Stop.
and so she's not going to play it.
I can't go there again. I heard
You're
his
killing
nuts
us.
pretty good, though, the macadamia nuts.
Yeah, I don't like macadamia nuts.
There's not much to them. They're kind of...
No, they're soft. It's like eating a boiled peanut in Florida. Do you like those?
You don't like soft nuts? You like a little hard nut? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like my nuts to be hard, Dave. Is that such a crime?
It's salty
Yeah.
and full of flavor.
Do they do this thing in Florida? They do it up here where they fill their Pepsi with peanuts.
Penis? What?
Peanuts
Oh,
in
peanuts.
Pepsi.
I have a friend of mine. Okay, this is really going up. We got to stop this. This is not good. My friend Dillard always says something about peanuts.
But do they do that down there?
No, I've heard. So like salty nuts and the nut part, not the shell.
Right. They take the nuts and they dump them into like
A soda.
a soda. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the
preferably a
thing.
Pepsi or something like that.
I think it's a thing. I think you get bored, and you got a handful of nuts. You got to do something with them. No, I've seen that before. I don't know if I've ever done that. If anyone's listening that enjoys nuts
In their
or
soda.
Pepsi over their nuts, trying to get it right, please weigh in. Tell us what that's like. If it's delectable.
Well, I do want to get wrap this up, but it's kind of good we went late because it's star naming night in the Woody household.
Do you pick a
So-
galaxy to work with, or
No, we sell. You know how there's that thing where you can buy a star, name a star. Well, it's our job. The company that sells those then farms that work out to. Well, I'm one of the many people who do it.
So you've got
And
a
we
big,
po-
you've got a
yeah,
big
we
telescope.
point to a star and go, okay, your name is David Theus. Say if you paid for that.
But how do you document the validity of that star, or is it really?
Well, it's like previously it's star Evan M7115. And
Yeah, with
so
some sort of scientific name to it.
right. And so then we turn around and give it the name that the company sold
I
to.
understand that, but do you have like a catalog or an inventory sheet of these stars?
Yes, exactly.
So do you really have to point in the sky? Can't you just take
Well, it
white
makes
out?
it more official, right? I mean, otherwise that whole thing could be a hoax, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right. So we
Is
make
there
it
like a
official.
certificate?
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, there's a certificate, and then we send a video of us pointing at the sky and saying the name to the star to make it official.
Pointing at the sky is suitable for framing.
That makes it
Oh, honey.
official. This has
This
got to
one's
be
the real
legit.
deal. This guy's pointing at the sky.
And he said my name.
I think we should end the show right here.
Yeah, you're heading on a high note.
Oh God, don't mess around with those other agencies. They are totally bogus. We've got
Make
people,
sure that Woody is the damer. You know,
we've
that
got people pointing at the
the
sky.
sky, and making sure things happen.
Hubble, no good. Forget about the Hubble telescope.
Well, Hubble just takes pictures. Come on,
Yeah,
that can't be real.
Bunch of glass.
All
I
right.
mean, they just launched a whole bunch of glass up in the
And that's
sky.
fake news. That thing's not even up there.
It's
People
not
just
even true.
no, they just make AI images and send it back. Oh, that's where your
That's
your
from the Hubble.
$52 million went.
Yeah, what are we supposed to really, look at this galaxy is far, far away. Oh, wow.
Look at that.
I don't believe you.
It started 18 gazillion
Billion.
years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how do you know that? Because we do.
That's one of those conference room meetings. What do you think? 18 billion?
we
No, we gotta go bigger
carbon
than
dated that bastard. It's 18 years old.
They threw some carbon up and said, yeah, there it is. Oh, God.
Anyhow, well, why don't we wrap this up a little
Yeah,
bit
I think we
today?
should because we're on a downward spiral.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm starting to lose my voice like you watching.
I
Watching
can't get
you.
over the pointing to the sky. I'm going to go out and look around.
Don't name any stars. I already did.
No, I'm out of that business.
All right.
I got in trouble last time.
Take my work away from me.
All right. I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And you've listened. I don't know what this is. If you made it this far, you probably need some help. But what do we? This is
No, we can help with Dave.
Oh, that's it. We can help with Dave and Woody, and God bless you. And we look forward to seeing you on a future episode. Good night, everybody. Say good night, Woody.
Good night, Woody.
All right. Bye.